The question is, as on the order paper, Mrs Theresa May.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and can I congratulate my honourable friend for securing this debate on this very important subject and congratulate him on the excellent speech that he made. We need to build more homes. The government is absolutely right about that. We need to level up across the country. The government is right about that too. But the problem with these proposals, the problem with this algorithm on housing numbers, is that it doesn't guarantee a single extra home being built, and far from levelling up, it forces in more investment into London and the South. This is a mechanistic approach, and it is ill-conceived. We need to reform the planning system. We need to make sure that that planning system sees the right number of homes being built in the right places. But we won't do that by removing local democracy, cutting the number of affordable homes that will be built, and building over rural areas. Yet that is exactly what these reforms will lead to. And we do need, as I say, to build more homes. But we won't do that by forcing local authorities to grant more planning permissions to developers so they can build more homes to bring the price down, because developers simply won't do it. The government does need to think again on this, and it needs to understand the impact that the proposals it's put forward are going to have. An impact which my honourable friend, in opening this debate, so ably set out across the whole of the country. But from my point of view, I just want to focus on my own constituency. For the Royal Borough of Windsor and Maidenhead, the housing target will go up by 21%. Given a previous planning inspector's decision, most of those homes will be in Maidenhead, not in the Windsor part of the constituency. There is already an implication that Greenbelt needs to be built on. But those numbers are less significant than the increase that is faced in the part of my constituency under Wokingham Borough Council. Wokingham Borough Council over the last 3 years has seen the delivery of homes over and above their target. But their target of 789 homes per year is now to be more than doubled to 1,635 homes per year. I will.
As my neighbour and friend in Berkshire, does the Right Honourable Lady agree that councils such as Wokingham Borough Council and Bracknell Forest Council should be given some credit for delivering against mature local plans, and also that councils like them, very well run, should also be best placed to understand the local requirement rather than having national targets imposed upon them?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I absolutely agree with my honourable friend on those points. The point is, what seems to be happening is if you've delivered in the past, and council should be congratulating for doing that, if you've delivered in the past, you're being forced to deliver even more in the future. Yet, by definition, if you've delivered in the past, you've got less land on which to deliver in the future. It just doesn't seem to make sense. Whereas those who haven't delivered are being rewarded by lower target numbers. And this is the opinion of parish councils and town councils across the Wokingham area, including those in my own constituency of Charvel, Remenham, Ruscombe, St Nicholas Hurst, Sonning, Twyford, Wargrave and Woodley Town Council, part of which covers my constituency, who have urged the government to think again and to make sure that there's a realistic and manageable plan can be put in place, which is both achievable and which does not create more problems than it solves. So I say to my honourable friend that I think that one of the strongest arguments, if not the strongest argument, against this new housing algorithm, and I would have thought the government might have abandoned algorithms by now, but the strongest argument against this algorithm is that it simply does not deliver a single extra home. We want those homes to be built, but one of the problems that we see at local level is that developers just constantly put in planning permission applications. And what we will see is not homes being built, but more planning permissions being built up by these developers. One of the difficulties is that councils often find, because of the way the 5-year land supply is calculated, that they reject a planning permission. It's then allowed on appeal because there isn't a 5-year land supply. Why not count previously granted planning permissions in the 5-year land supply, giving developers an incentive to actually build them out? Because otherwise they wouldn't get their planning permissions in the future. What this algorithm does is builds up planning permissions, it doesn't build houses. And as Cox Green Parish Council in my constituency have said, the real block to delivery is the developer's appetite to build at a level which will affect house prices and their profit margins. And they say of the government's approach, all this strategy will accomplish is to further undermine public confidence in the planning system. My second objection was about the fact that this does not level up. That was very ably set out by my honourable friend in his opening speech. What this new algorithm does as regards levelling up is flies in the face of the government's flagship policy. So my point is simple. These proposals do not deliver on government policies. The government needs to think again and come back with a comprehensive proposal to this House for a proper debate and dare I say it, a meaningful vote.